Vulcan bomber will take to the skies for the final time before the end of this month.
The Vulcan was first used by the RAF in the 1950s, but more recently has been a huge draw at air shows around the country. Danny Savage is at its base at Robin Hood Airport in Doncaster with one of the Vulcans. Morning.
Good morning from Doncaster Airport. With the Vulcan behind us at the moment, is out here on one of the stands and it's having some engineering work taking place at the moment. It's about 20 million people have seen this plane fly since it took to the air again in 2007. It used to be a proper operational bomber with the RAF. It then was taken out of service in the 1980s and then brought back to life, if you like, about 8 years ago. And it's been doing air shows ever since, and it's been one of the biggest draws to those sort of events, seeing this aircraft fly. But it all does come to an end in the next few weeks. It will touch down for the final time and then it will head off into a fascinating future as well. For almost 8 years, she has wowed crowds at air shows across Britain. This Vulcan bomber may be a relic, but its appearance and noise stops today's young and old in their tracks. What makes it special? Well, lots of people talk about what's known as the Vulcan howl. Vulcan 558 lives in a hangar at Doncaster Airport, where she is cherished because of the emotions of what they call here the Vulcan effect.
One gentleman stated that he thinks he must have got some grit in his eyes because his eyes were running so much. And genuinely, I've seen that effect every year. It all means something, and you stand there and you look at the crowd, and especially the children, you see this look on their face. It's just, well, starstruck, I suppose.
Britain's revolutionary V-bomber goes into service with the Royal Air Force.
The RAF used to have dozens of these Delta wing giants ready to go at a moment's notice. They carried Britain's nuclear deterrent. Their crews were tasked with dropping their bomb somewhere behind the Iron Curtain.
What you've got here is the original in-service part of the aircraft.
Today's display pilot, Martin Withers, used to fly them in anger. He was the pilot on the plane's most famous mission, to bomb the runway at Port Stanley during the Falklands War. But after decades, he will never again take a Vulcan to the sky.
Everybody loves it for a variety of reasons. I mean, it's so graceful, so beautiful, and yet so powerful and manoeuvrable. For me, this is a lot of what gives us the pleasure of flying it. Although, to be absolutely honest, it's the fact that we're actually given this aeroplane, we're allowed to fly around, pick our own routes, fly around the country, go around the country and display in such a variety of places, is what really gives us the pleasure.
So what happens to her now? It's not about money. The professional technical support is no longer available to underwrite her safe operation.
The aircraft's quite old.
It's a sad day for the man who inspired the campaign to keep the Vulcan airworthy.
I know people will be very sad that it stopped flying, but the aircraft will be retained in running order. We will start her up, we will taxi her, and she is destined to be the centrepiece of a new activity to inspire the young.
And so at some point before the end of this month, this unique plane will touch down for the final time and taxi off to start a new chapter, to perhaps inspire future designers of magnificent flying machines. Now, what you can't see, when the bomb doors open, inside are the names of thousands of people who've given money to keep this plane flying over the years. The idea was to have official sponsorship years ago, but then came the financial crash, and so they needed individual people to step up with little bits of money to keep this plane in the air, and it's worked. One of the trustees here is Richard Clark. Richard, how much is this the people's plane, if you like?
Absolutely, as you say, all the names in the bomb bay, and of course well over £22 million has been donated by the public, without which we couldn't have flown the aircraft in the first place.
How sad are you to see it go?
Oh, very sad. It's been a big part of my life, should I say, for the last probably 15, 16 years, and now it's going and it's right near the end of its fine life. It's very sad, very emotional.
I think lots of people are very appreciative of everything the trustees have done to keep this plane flying. It will touch down for the final time before the end of the month. It cannot fly after that. I'm sure many people will be looking out for it.
Yes, and so many people getting in touch who've seen it as well. Thank you, Danny.
Time now to get news, travel and weather where you are.